Hi, I'm Heather from Heather Handmade, and today I'm going to teach you how to make an easy DIY witch costume. Please like this video and follow my channel for lots of sewing and lots of costumes. So this witch costume, you take a t-shirt and you add some lace, you add a black skirt with some lace on the bottom, and that is a really easy sewing project to make a fun witch costume. The great thing about this dress is that since it doesn't really look like a witch costume, you can wear this dress all year long and get a lot of use out of it. To make it a witch costume, you just add a broom. This is a homemade broom that I added a felt bottom that looks like, you know, how you sweep with the sticks. If you are interested in this tutorial, I have a picture tutorial on my blog for this. And then add a witch hat and black shoes, and you have a really easy witch costume that's fun and easy to wear. The supplies you will need for the easy witch costume is a long sleeve black t-shirt, an assortment of lace, you know, whatever you have around. You can also use tassels or pom-poms, anything fun, some black fabric, and some 1/4 inch elastic. The first thing we're going to do is to get the t-shirt ready to put the skirt on. So the t-shirt is a little bit longer than where my daughter's waist is. This also works for adult women if you want to do the same thing and make an easy witch dress. So I'm just going to shorten the t-shirt just a little bit so that it'll be closer to her waist. This is something you might have to try the t-shirt onto your child or onto you to know where to, how short you want it to be. Now I have this lace and it looks like I can put it 3 times. So I'm going to cut this lace into thirds. Then I'm going to place one at the center front like this. So at the top you're going to want to fold over a small hem so that the edge of the fabric will be, the edge of the ribbon, the edge of the lace will be finished. So I'm going to pin this in place up here. And this is going to go straight down center front like this. And I'm going to add a couple of pins so that I can sew this on and it will be right in the right place. So there's the first piece, and now I have 2 more. I'm going to do the same on each side. Now I'm going to sew this lace onto the t-shirt. I'm going to use a straight stitch and go on each side of the lace, starting at the bottom, coming up, sew across this top and back down to the other side. So this t-shirt is now ready, like a little lace decorated bodice, and it's ready to add the skirt to the bottom. Now to prepare the skirt, you have your black fabric. This is just a random shiny kind of satin fabric that I had in my stash. You can use whatever black fabric you want. If you use a knit, it is a little easier and you won't have to finish the raw edges. So this, I measured my t-shirt. So I measured my t-shirt and it's 24 inches along the bottom circumference. So I want to double that and make and cut a rectangle that is 48 inches wide all the way across. And then you want it to be the height of from the waist to either the knee or, you know, to the calf, like a T length, to make the witch skirt the length that you want. To make my skirt a little bit fuller, and I want to have two different layers on the bottom because I want to use these two different lace pieces. So what I'm going to do is I cut the fabric the full width to get the gathers I want, and then what I'm planning is having this be doubled up. I'm going to have one layer stop here and have lace, and then I'm going to have one layer here and have lace. So I am doubling this up, and that's how I'm going to sew this on to the shirt at the top. So the first thing I need to do is you need to finish this edge by either serging or zigzagging and then sewing the lace onto that edge. Now that both edges have been finished with a serger, I'm going to now pin and sew the lace on. So when you fold this in half, here's the fold up here. One side is going to be the right side. This is the right side, it's the shinier side. And this one is the wrong side facing out right here. So when you're sewing the lace on, you have to make sure that you're sewing it on the side that will face out. So what I'm going to do to make sure I get that right is for this, I'm going to just pin one side on right here like this. And you want this raw edge to line up with this raw edge because this is going to become a seam, and this raw edge will be hidden inside. So I'm going to pin this lace on right here like this, so that when I get to the sewing machine, I know that this side, this is the right side of the fabric with the right side of the lace. So there's that, and then this other one, this one I'm going to pin onto the bottom like this. This is a flat lace and this is a gathered lace, and they are just something that I thrifted. So it's nice to use up these bits of lace that won't get used another way. So I'm pinning this lace on. And it's the wrong side of the fabric, but it will end up being the right side of the skirt. Now that these two edges have lace sewn on, I'm going to sew the back seam by lining up the two selvages. So it's important that you line up this lace at the same spot. You really want to make sure that it's in the same spot so that when you turn it right side out, the lace looks like it's, you know, lining up at the right spot. So I'm going to pin these edges together. And make sure that this lace lines up. It will still look like a seam, but it will look like it lines up and it matches. And now I'm going to sew the seam through here and finish the raw edges. So this seam is sewn and finished. And now I'm going to turn this right side out. So you can see the back here, this is where it matches up, it lines up in both places. So that will be the back. So now I'm going to gather this top edge and we're going to sew it onto the bottom of the t-shirt. Now that I have the basting stitches sewn to the top of the skirt, I'm going to flip the skirt right side to the t-shirt. So this is all slid inside, and I'm going to start gathering and pinning the skirt to the t-shirt. So I'm going to pin this in place. This is the center back, and then I'm going to find the center front and match it up with the center front of the bodice. I'm going to do 4 separate spots so that when I'm gathering, I know I'm gathering evenly. And then I'm going to gather both sides and distribute the gathers evenly. Now that I have this all gathered, I'm just going to distribute the gathers evenly and pin it to the t-shirt. Now I'm going to sew this seam. It's going to be a pretty deep seam because I have 2 rows of basting, so it's going to be a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to sew all the way around. Now that this seam is sewn and the knit of the t-shirt won't fray, so you don't have to finish that edge, and this top edge is a fold, so you don't have to do anything else to that seam. And now we can turn the dress right side out. And there's your bodice with your gathered skirt. If you want this seam to be a little bit tighter, you can add a little bit of elastic inside where you just sew the elastic to the seam allowance, and that will cinch it in if you would like to do that. This is actually looking pretty good, so I'm going to leave this how it is. And that's how you make a really easy DIY witch costume, which is just a black dress that you can wear all year. Has the fun details of the lace on the bodice and the skirt. You just add a hat and a broom. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful day.